I constantly check on people. Sometimes they message back and sometimes they don't. Sometimes people are like, why is she messaging me? Well, you know what? Maybe you need somebody, maybe you don't. But know that I'm thinking about you. I'm taking a moment out of my fucking day to say hi. But people feel unloved, unwanted, unworthy. They are struggling to survive, to breathe, to eat, to even go pee. Yeah, there's been times I got bladder infections because I was too depressed to go to the freaking bathroom. I couldn't get out of bed worth a damn. And it happens. But I'll tell you this, things change. They do. And it does take work on your part. Okay, it really does. And it helps when there's resources and help available, of course. And sometimes there's not. Unfortunately, sometimes it's harder for some people to get up on their feet, to do one simple task a day or a month or a week. But there's going to come a day where change is going to come. There's a song by Sam Cooke, change is going to come. I highly encourage you to look up on YouTube that song, Change is going to come. It's a good song. Starts off, I was born by the river in a little tent. I can't remember all the words, but I'll look it up. Hold on. I want to read you the words. I want everyone to listen to the lyrics of this song, because it's true. He says, I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long, don't mind my singing, a long time coming, but I know the change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Here we go. This is a very serious part. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I don't think it's good as Sam Cooke, but yeah. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me, please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Listen to that. How many times have people who are suicidal and successfully unalive themselves literally reach out and scream for help? The signs are there. They're always there. But are you paying attention? Is anybody paying attention? And this is what angers me the most about suicide, is when the person who successfully unalives themselves dies, and then people are like, oh my God, why did they do that? What were they thinking? What could we have possibly done to help them? Gee, I don't know, fucking listen. Pay the fuck attention. Know the signs. Okay, know the signs, people. They reach out and sometimes literally scream for help. Help me, please. But they wind up knocking you back down on your knees. It's like the song said, because they ignore you. They're not listening. They don't pay attention. And people are like, you know what? You basically just validated how I feel. Nobody cares, right? So they do it. They're either successful or they're not. So that's basically what's going through a suicidal person's head. It's how they're feeling. It's what they're thinking. That's what they're dealing with and suffering through. So please, if you're a mentally healthy person and of sound mind and sound, you got a decent life, whatever, good for you. But have an open heart and open mind, and be understanding and non-judgmental. And for those people who say or think that suicide is an easy way out, or they're cowards, or, some bullshit like that. No, you're full of shit and you're wrong. You're wrong. 100%. Flat out. You are fucking wrong. So, someone's final moments. Every situation when they're suicidal is different. First off, sometimes they're successful and sometimes they're not. Me personally, I have attempted 13 times. Now I have a dark inside joke, dark humor with myself. It's not funny, but it's funny to me. I obviously suck at trying to unalive myself, so I won't be trying again. But I have since found value in my life and realized, like I mentioned, that I still have purpose. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. Simple as that. And I have kids. And the fact of the matter is, when someone commits suicide, okay, I'm talking to people who are suicidal now. When you commit suicide, you know what you're doing? You're passing your pain onto others. Is that fair to them? That's where the whole, where I used to argue, well, it's not about them. It's about me for once. It's my life. But think about it. No, it's not just about you. Because when you successfully unalive yourself, you're just doing nothing but passing your pain and agony onto others. And that's not fair. That's not fair at all. Because that's not their pain to deal with. That's your pain to deal with. Period. It's your burden to bear, unfortunately. Okay? You have to take responsibility for your shit, just like any other person out there. Seriously. Suicidal, depressed or not, everyone is responsible for their own shit. Okay? There's always a better way out. There's always a better way. Change is going to come. But most times, you can't just sit there on your ass and expect it to just show up in your lap either. Do something about it. Make changes to yourself. Make changes to your life. Even if you've done it a million times before, do it again. Like I said, you can't have success without failure. And sometimes you fail a lot until you finally succeed. I tell my kids, I tell them, like I said, you can't have success without failure. If you don't try, you have 100% chance of failure. Then if you do try, you have a 50% chance of success, which is a hell of a lot more of a chance of success than it is when you don't try, when you have a 100% chance of failure. You follow me? So everyone's final moments is different. Some people, they do drugs or they'll drink, or, they'll be in a heated moment and they're not thinking straight. They lose their ability to think straight, or their thinking just becomes impaired and they make a rash, quick, bad decision and they attempt, whether they succeed or not. Some people will get their ducks in a row, as you would say, and they will write out a will. They will right their wrongs, apologize to people, tell people they love them, which is in a form saying goodbye. So if someone, like I said, know the signs. If someone is coming up to you and all of a sudden they're like, hey man, I love you, I'm gonna miss you, where are you going? You taking a trip somewhere? Start asking questions. Be like, what, why, what, where are you going? Get them talking. And if they start giving you their stuff, start giving their stuff away to people, that's a sign. They usually, and then they'll leave a letter most times, sometimes, and, as to why they did it and why they're, they just wanted to feel at peace or just go home. And, so it's different. Some people, it's in the heat of the moment. And some people, they take their time to get their ducks in a row and prepare for it. But once their mind's made up, it's made up. whether they succeed or not. So moving on to the topic of this episode, spirit after suicide. What happens to their spirit, someone's spirit after they commit suicide? Again, this is my personal beliefs, my personal experiences, my thoughts, and personal, everything. So agree to disagree, whatever. So when someone dies, all right, the spirit leaves the body. And that's when the spirit is transitioning or transcending into the spiritual realm. Okay. That's where your life flashes before your eyes and you're shown everything that you've done wrong and you're forgiven, and you get to choose, you kind of get to choose, in a way, you get to choose like what you want to do with your spirit. Do you want to right your wrongs to go to a better place in the spiritual realm and be reborn and live life on earth again and basically be reincarnated? You get to choose your family. I mean, we do. And I know it's like, well, I don't remember last life, but some people remember their past lives. Some people don't. Some people are new souls. Some people are old souls. It just all depends. You got to be in tune with yourself and your spirit, body, mind, soul, connection with the universe. But I believe that there's a heaven and there's purgatory. But when you're in that transition, when your spirit leaves your body, your life flashes before your eyes, you're whether forgiven, and if you want to get into a better spiritual place in the spiritual realm, you can choose to come back and try again, and until you learn whatever lessons it is that your spirit needs to learn, so you can evolve your spirit and just keep evolving. But specifically with people who commit suicide, okay, it's instant regret. Once they've transcended and done all their shit, okay, and it's time to be like, all right, what now? They instantly regret it. Despite what mostly Christianity, most Christians believe that if someone unalives themselves, they go straight to hell. First of all, that ain't true with a shit. I don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks. You do not go to hell if you unalive yourself. Period. No, you don't. I don't give a fuck what the Bible says. Now, some people, Christian or not, whatever, believe that you go straight into the light. You're at peace now. You're with your maker, your creator, and you went to the light. You went to heaven. It's not true with people with suicide. They don't go to either. They don't go to purgatory and they don't go to the light. Okay. 95% of people who unalive themselves instantly regret it. Only 5% don't. And those are the ones that go to the light. The 5% could be, people who are elderly, who literally do not have anybody in this world. Like everyone's dead, all their family's dead, all their friends dead. They're at the end of their road. Like they're elderly. A lot of people, when you get old, suicide really hits hard. Even if you've never had it throughout your entire life, a lot of elderly people get old, like depression and suicidal. Even if they're at their end of life and don't have much longer to live naturally. So if they're older and literally like do not have a living soul on this planet that gives a damn about them, okay, that's when they go into the light, because they fulfilled their purpose. Really, there's nobody else to really love them. There's nobody, other energies to help them or do anything. Okay, it's a very small percentage of people who actually go into the light after suicide, but the majority don't. Okay, it's instant regret. And I wish I could reference this and credit the guy who did this. I can't even remember his name, but he's a legit, credible paranormal investigator who utilizes this tool, which is called like a voice or ghost box. And if you look up what a ghost box is or voice box is, it uses frequency to pick up sounds and voices and things like that. And it's kind of like like that. And then like, it'll say something. Sometimes it'll pick up a phone call, a few words of a message or something somebody's talking on the phone, because it's through radio waves and frequencies and things like that. Okay. Sometimes it'll pick up TV, whatever, but it'll pick up spirit too, supposedly. And this guy, he specifically targets or gears his sessions towards celebrities. And for example, this one particular video, he was able to connect with Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams. Everybody loved. There's not one damn person in this world that didn't love Robin Williams. That if any human being in this world, I've never heard not one person speak ill of Robin Williams. Not one person. And everybody loved him, but he instantly regretted it. And what caused him to unalive himself was the degenerative disease that he had. It wasn't Alzheimer's. I forgot the name of it. I can't reference it. I apologize for that, but you can look it up. Just Google it, what disease he had. But it made him of not sound of mind, and made him start thinking irrational, because his mind started degenerating. And that's what led him to unalive himself. But he regretted it. And in the recording, he was sad. He was still a depressed, like he still dealt with depression as a spirit. He's not in the light. And I'm sorry, you'd be like, Robin Williams didn't go to heaven. Of course he deserves to go to heaven, and he will eventually. Okay. But whatever his spirit needs to learn, to grow, to evolve, because of how he left this world, because of the regret, and there's no greater, lower, shitty feeling than regret. That is the worst feeling in the world, is regret. Especially if you can't right or wrong, because suicide is permanent when you're successful. Okay. And he was sad. He said he regretted it. And he said he was sorry to everyone. He realized that what he did, he fucked up. And that's the same with a majority of people who successfully unalive themselves. They're like, damn, I fucked up. So what happens to their spirit and what it can manifest? Like I said, after they transcend, they instantly regret it. And where they manifest or turn into low vibrational beings. Okay. And like with the example with Robin Williams, he was sorry, regret. He was sad, sadness, regret, so, remorse, So because of that, that's what keeps their spirit here. That's what keeps them from going into the light, because even in the afterlife, they feel like they're unworthy of heaven. So and when they're alive, they feel like they're unworthy of living in this world, and then they go into the afterlife, and then they feel like they're unworthy of living in heaven. It's basically what it is. And they turn into low vibrational beings. And how they can manifest is they can turn into energies, balls of energy of depression, even suicide. Yeah, even though they regret it, what they did. Suicide, depression, unworthiness, everything that when they were alive, what they were feeling, it just kind of follows them. And that's the energy within those demons of depression, the demon of anxiety, and everything that made someone suffer. It turns into an energy. Okay. And it's pure energy. And that's what it stays as, because that's why it doesn't go into the light. And when they attach to others, which they can, okay, the low vibrational beings can attach to people, because spirit visits people. They're like, damn, let's say they had kids or something like that, or a wife or a husband or a parent, whatever the case may be, spirit visits us, whether they crossed over or not. And they can attach themselves to someone. And they attach themselves to that person's life force, and then they kind of become like an energy vampire, and they suck the life out of that person, pretty much, literally. Like I said, they can drive someone, there's energy of depression, energy of suicide, energy of anxiety, energy of, feeling unworthy. And so it manifests physically into that person that they attach to. And it could be anybody, wherever the spirit chooses to dwell or go to in the afterlife. It could be a child. Let's say a new family moved into the house that they died in, or let's say whatever, but let's use that example. Let's say family, they bought this house, they know the history of it, the person died in the house, committed suicide, whatever. Let's say that's where the spirit is dwelling. And let's say there's a child and the spirit attaches to the child. It'll suck the energy force and it'll manifest physically, make the child sick, give the child disease, maybe cause a child to have anxiety or childhood depression, or have them grow up to be depressed, and they follow them throughout life, and or it can attach to adults too. They find a life force. They find a life force to attach to, or they can attach to their living family members or friends or things like that, and then it just manifests physically, mentally, psychologically. The person becomes depressed or suicidal, or they, have a series of unfortunate events, or, they feel cursed, or they'll, whatever the case may be, it manifests some way, somehow. So how do we get these low vibrational beings, these people who successfully unalive themselves? How do we get them into the light? Now, like I said, a majority of people who successfully unalive themselves instantly regret it. Very small percentage actually go to heaven. But 100%, 100% of people who unalive themselves go to heaven. Okay? And I bite my, man, I don't really want to say this, but I'm going to say it, even though I want to bite my own tongue on it, because it's hard to chew on. But people, like I said earlier in the episode, with the exception of low life pieces of abusive shit people who murder and rape and hurt children, or, make people miserable in some way, shape, or form, or take their life, or whatever the case may be, except for those people. Those types of people, okay, when they successful, because it happens, they can't face the shit that they've done, right? So they'll kill themselves. And yeah, people will be like the coward, good riddance. And true, good riddance to those motherfuckers. Good riddance. Peace out, bitches. They should have never been here for, nasty, fucking, disgusting, vile, evil people. Okay. But the ones who are evil like that, and sadistic and nasty and vile, this is a real hard pill to swallow. But the ones that successfully unalive themselves typically feel remorse. You'd be surprised. You'd be like, no, they don't. They're just taking the easy way out. They're just being cowards because they don't want to accept the responsibility of their actions and what they've done. They don't want to sit in jail. Well, we don't want to sit in jail for life either, because that's taxpayers' money anyway. So like we said, good riddance, right? And you can forgive them or not. I know if somebody harmed my child, fuck forgiveness. I don't give a shit. I will never forgive anybody for that shit. But they do feel remorse. And that's why they unalive themselves. Yeah, it's true. They can't face and accept the responsibility for their actions. That's also true. But they feel so shit. They feel so shitty for what they've done that they feel like the worst person in the world. And they are, especially if they've done something really bad, and they are the worst, one of the worst people. They're part of the problem, not part of the solution. However, they feel so shitty about what they've done. And that's remorse. It is. That they just cannot live another day. which is a good thing. Let's be real here. Good. Get riddance, right? But that's remorse too. So those people, all right, shitty people. Well, what about them? What about their spirit? They go into the light? No. They can eventually, though. Those people typically are not the type to regret it. Okay. But they do become, like I said, in the spirit world, you can choose to come back to have your spirit try to learn what the universe is trying to make you learn so you can evolve as a spirit, as your spirit evolves and grows and learns lessons and does do better, be better, become a better person, evolve your spirit, and your frequency and things like that. So, they have the opportunity to do that. They have the opportunity to be reborn and try again, do a do-over. And even though it's like, you can think, well, we don't want that kind of person coming back into this world. But in a way you do. Not that type of person, but rather you want them to grow and evolve into a better being. You want that. So they don't hurt people anymore, because if they choose not to come back and do better and be better, they're also low vibrational beings. And those types of beings, those shitty people who unalive themselves, are not just low vibrational beings, but they can turn into beings that are maleficent and malicious and, purposely, even in the spirit world, they're hurting people. And that's where you need protection. That's where you know how to spiritually protect yourself, whether it be through a priest, a witch, or someone of that nature, a psychic medium, whatever. You can find people to help protect you, or silver, sage, things like that. Strengthen your spirit. Words have power. I pray protection over myself. I call on my spirit guides, the gods, angels from the light, Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel, whatever. I call in the light to protect me. Simple as that. But know how to protect yourself. Because those spirits can end up being bad ones. As far as crossing over, though, so let's say for the majority who are regretful and low vibrational beings, how do they cross over? Well, you need someone who knows what they're doing and has experience, or professional, either a priest, a psychic medium, or a witch, someone who has enough power and authority, and not bad power, but more so like experience, like power. They're powerful, you know what I mean? Like, they've grown their own spirit. They've grown themselves into being able to like have the ability to help others cross over. You can't just say, be like a baby witch or a beginner witch and be like, oh, I'm going to tell you, it's not just as simple as saying, go into the light. It's not like the movie, the little girl, I'm coming to a blank here. What's the name of the movie? Poltergeist. The Poltergeist. It's not easy saying, go into the light. No. You can tell them that all you want to, but they're not going to go into the light. Okay, it's going to take much more than that. So, but yeah, that's how you would get someone to cross over. And it takes meditation too. You really got to connect with the spirit, and it takes work. And it will drain the person who helps them cross over. It drains them, their body, their spirit, and everything. So it takes work. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's always a sad situation all the way around when someone takes their own life. It's sad, when people have come to that point where they just can't go on anymore. I've been on the other side of the fence too. My cousin unalived himself on my birthday a couple years ago. And my uncle, his dad, he's a Vietnam Army war veteran. My cousin that unalived himself was in the Marines. My uncle found him. You know how heartbreaking that is when a parent finds their own child. See, children are supposed to go before after the parents. Parents are supposed to go before the children, not the other way around. Your child isn't supposed to leave this world before you do. No. So when a parent finds their own kid dead by suicide, like I said, you're just passing your pain on to somebody else. And he already deals with PTSD from the war and depression himself, suicidal ideation, things like that. He already deals with that shit as it is. And now he's got to deal with finding his son dead by suicide and dealing with that. So my heart goes out to my uncle and our own family too. Because, I cry about my cousin sometimes and I talk to him in the spirit world and things like that. I still tell him I love him. I always say, tell him I love him. I don't know if the message ever got to him. Apparently, it seems like it hasn't, but whatever. But yeah, check on your people. And if you're suicidal, reach out because it's not a way to go. It's not. Okay? It's not cowardly. It's not shameful. It's not easy. No, fuck what people think. Okay. Doesn't matter what they think. No matter what you believe and what you think. Okay. Be strong. You are worthy. You are loved. And if you have nobody to tell you I love you, I'll tell you I love you. You may not know me. You may not ever get to know me. You may not ever meet me. You may know me in person. But I love you and I care about you. I care about you all. I care about everyone. I have a huge heart. And typically those who unalive themselves are the type of people who have a huge heart too. They literally wear the weight on the shoulders. So just people, be kind because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what their struggles or their demons. And tomorrow is never promised. Okay. So let's be aware, be thoughtful, be kind, pay attention to signs, listen, help, reach out. I'm Anna Taylor of Anna Taylor Radio. This concludes this episode of Spirit After Suicide. I appreciate everyone who supports me and my podcast. I appreciate every one of you who has taken the time to listen or watch this podcast or any of my episodes and this one too. Stay tuned for a list of resources. And if you need help, get a pen and paper. Write down these numbers, okay? There's help out there. There's people to listen. There's people that give a damn. There really is. All right. Y'all be safe. Be kind. Please rewind. Just kidding.